Welcome everybody. Just a quick reminder that anything you see on this channel is advice and done in a purely entertainment capacity only. I'm just a guy working on his stuff that breaks in his front yard. That's it. There are no warranties implied or given. This is just me working on junk, passing on what I've learned. End disclaimer. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jared, and this is my channel, Mazda P3K. This is going to be a 5-minute fix where we are going to change out the oil pressure sender, but it is commonly called the oil pressure switch or the oil pressure sensor on my 1997 Ford E-150 with the 5.4 liter V8 Triton engine. Without further ado, let's get started. Keep this short and sweet. Wife was driving yesterday for multiple hours, came at idle, and oil pressure needle began to dance. Now, what you need to know about that is that it is effectively an idiot light. It does not actually read your true oil pressure. It has a limiter. It says if you are above X amount of pressure, which I think it's like 8 pounds of pressure or something, show that you're okay. If you are below 8 pounds of pressure, turn off and freak out the driver. And that's also when your oil light's supposed to come on. And she was only seeing this at idle or when she did really hard braking. So I am hoping that this is our problem. This is a replacement from standard. It is a standard PS288. And they do go bad because if this is not the problem and this doesn't resolve it, it most likely means that the pickup tube is clogged. And that's a whole nother set of problems. Now, all that being said, if you are driving and your engine's nice and hot, so your oil is thin, and you come to a stop, your needle's dancing, and you're hearing tat 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 or something like that, you truly have a problem because it means oil's not making it to the top of the engine, and now you've got metal on metal clattering. I'm not hearing that. Wife said she didn't hear that. So I think we're still oiling okay, but the sensor decided to poop out. So that's what we're going to do. The sensor is supposed to be located around the oil filter, so I'm going to go check it out. So I figured out you get way better access from the front of the engine. I am under the front. You can see we've got a lower radiator hose right there. And I've got access, and it turned out to be a 26 millimeter, fits on this pretty good. So hopefully I can get just enough swing room. I can break this loose and then spin it out the rest of the way by hand. I don't have a 26 millimeter socket, but as you can see, I got the wrench. Kind of a weird size. Anyway, be advised when you do this, you're going to have some oil come out. How much is going to depend on how recently you ran the engine. This one's cool, so it shouldn't be a lot. It's going to be a little bit. So be prepared to get some towels out, or, have a catch can or something. All right, let's get this out. As you can see, a little bit of oil came out. Not a lot of it. So, not bad at all. And here's our new one. You'll notice it has a different size nut. I've already clocked it. It's 21. So we'll thread that in, and this wasn't in crazy tight. Apparently, there's a certain distance they're supposed to be threaded in. So I'm going to compare what I see on the old threads versus these threads, and then spin it in, try to make that match. And then we will reconnect our sensor, and then we'll, crank it, see what we get. I know that that's not a quart of oil, which means I may have to barely top it off. So I'm, again, not concerned about this. As you can see, a little bit of oil came out. Not a lot of it. So not bad at all. And here's our new one. You'll notice it has a different size nut. I've already clocked it. It's 21. So we'll thread that in, and this wasn't in crazy tight. Apparently there's a certain distance they're supposed to be threaded in. So I'm going to compare what I see on the old threads versus these threads, and then spin it in, try to make that match. And then we will reconnect our sensor, and then we'll crank it, see what we get. I know that that's not a quart of oil, which means I may have to barely top it off. So I'm, again, not concerned about this. All right, keep an eye on the pressure gauge. Okay, that's working. Cool. Alrighty folks, that's going to do it for this 5-minute fix video where we successfully swapped out a oil pressure sender, oil pressure switch, oil pressure sensor, depending on what you want to call it, for my 1997 Ford E-150 Econoline van with the 5.4 liter Triton V8. If you found this video interesting, if you found it entertaining, if you learned something, please consider sharing, and subscribing. That does help to grow the channel, which allows me to bring you more projects like this. And please leave a comment. I like to read them, I like to reply to them, and I especially like to learn from them. Remember guys, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Catch you guys next episode.